welcome back. You're watching Young Turks. On the show today, we're focusing on green tech ventures, and in this segment, we travel to Ahmedabad to find out how Let's Recycle is reinventing the way one deals with dry waste. Founded by Sandeep Patel in 2012, Let's Recycle has to date facilitated the recycling of over 16,000 metric tons of waste, mitigating 55,200 metric tons of carbon dioxide that would have otherwise been released into the atmosphere had the waste ended up in a regular landfill. In the larger scheme of things, these numbers might be small, but the venture has built a robust technology using enterprise resources planning and GPS as its bedrock. Sandeep now wants to take this model out of Ahmedabad to many more cities. Let's find out how.
Waste recycling is typically not seen as a high-tech or, for that matter, even as an organized sector business. In most of the country's largest cities, sites like these are commonplace. For instance, in Ahmedabad alone, 4,200 metric tons of dry waste is generated daily, and almost all of it finds itself in a landfill. Studies, however, reveal that 90% of this dry solid waste can be easily recycled. This was exactly what motivated Sandeep Patel to start Nefra Resource Management Private Limited in 2012. 4 years in, the one thing Sandeep will admit that it hasn't been easy.
Yes, the list is very long, but I'll try to be more precise in the sense of, the challenges of value chain. Because this sector, being in dry waste sector, the value chain is multiple commodities. Now we had this journey of, trying to figure out every single polymer type, recycler benefits, or, the challenges which a recycler has. So initial journey was more about, building the relationships in a very transparent way with the recyclers who are in the sector. So initial phase, it was about the value chain establishment. Then it was more about, tying up with more recyclers and generators and satisfying their need for a service. There were phases when we actually loaded the vehicles ourselves, when our workers just ran away saying, it's a 6 o'clock, we are just going to go home, and the client is calling us to empty the waste area for recycling.
Very simply put, what Let's Recycle does is not recycle waste, but optimize the supply of chain of recycling by bringing in automation and predictability to the process. After much iteration, here's how the Let's Recycle model works across collection, segregation and sustainability. On the collection side, Let's Recycle has created a network of micro-entrepreneurs who are armed with a custom-developed mobile app and collection vehicle to follow a designated route map across the city, collecting dry waste from residential colonies, industrial units and small business owners. Waste coming into the material recovery facility is sorted and segregated by a mechanized process and sent across to authorized recyclers. Some of the waste is processed in-house by women who have been upskilled and provided with social security as well.
So we have a cycle time of about 24 hours where material comes in and it goes out. Everything is tracked to the software, how much came in, what went out, what was the composition. So we exactly track the generation point, who generates what. All the data analytics is done in a bigger way at our end, because we really want to understand the generation patterns and plan in advance using our tools of collection and all, so that the customer service is of the best standard, best level, so that people can comply better. Because in waste sector we have learned one thing very clearly is, if the pickup service is consistent, people are ready to be part of the model. So essentially the model has to be scheduled collection services where people know the vehicle is going to come for sure at 10 o'clock in the morning, and vehicle comes and people participate. So if the vehicle is not coming, then of course the participation level of segregation of waste also will go down.
And of course, government programs like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan have also helped bring focus to waste management. Meanwhile, in the corporate sector, the new Waste Management Rule 2016, which emphasizes the extended producer responsibility guidelines for all FMCG players, has meant that Let's Recycle works with companies like Tetra Pak, Coca-Cola, Godrej and Amul to help them meet their obligations. Sandeep plans to close the financial year with a top line of 20 crore rupees.
Today, our collection costs have been optimized, our MRF costs have been optimized, and we know exactly what level of cost to expect in what stage of the business and how to control that. Our revenue purely comes from recyclables. Okay, so our intention always to recycle as much as possible. So today, out of 100 kgs we collect, almost 90-95% is sent for recycling, and balance 5% is going to be start sending to co-incineration to cement plants. So effectively, our model is a zero waste to landfill model, where the efficiency of collection and operations and the margin between buying and selling of waste, either buying and selling from waste pickers or industries, or even for dustbin waste which we get. So we try to average out our procurement versus the sales price, and we have to play between the margins which we are going to make. And I'm happy to say that we are EBITDA positive as a company, and we are very comfortable about our margins and value realizations from our recyclables.
Having raised over $2 million from social impact fund Avishkar, Sandeep plans to take Let's Recycle to 3 other cities in Gujarat in 2017 and then aims for a pan-India presence.
Only as wishing the team